We are here to talk about the House of Commons. Yes, the House of Commons. We love the House of Commons because they're what we see all the time. We think politics, we think about those plush green benches. We think about the Prime Minister standing up there and delivering his speeches, and then the opposition saying, meh, what you said was rubbish. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you get to sit in there. We're going to talk about what they do. We're going to talk about why they sit where they do, which is more interesting than you think it is. We're going to go and see where else we find along the way. Let's check out the House of Commons. First thing you need to know about the House of Commons is how you get the right to sit in the House of Commons. And that is, it's easy. You have to be an MP. And to be an MP, you have to win an election in your constituency, in your local area. So generally, that's the general election, which is when all 650 seats, they're all up for election. Everyone gets fired and they can be rehired by the constituency they want, but everyone votes. In each area, you have somebody who represents you who won the election in your area, and they are an MP, they're a member of parliament, and they go off to the House of Commons. When I say that they have the right to sit there, it's because no one else is allowed to sit on those benches. If you go on a tour, which you can do, you go on a tour around the House of Commons and you can't sit down because only MPs are allowed to do it. When I worked in the House of Parliament, when I was in the House of Commons, I couldn't sit down. I don't know what they think my bottom would have done to the benches, but not allowed to do it. When they get to the House of Commons, they split themselves up, because you may have seen it. It's across the aisle. There's like seats facing down opposite each other. They're sitting a bit like they were having a fight, but they had to sit down and couldn't be together. On one side, if you're looking towards the Speaker, we'll get to him later. If you're looking towards the Speaker, on the left-hand side, it's where the MPs who are elected with the government sit. So right now that's Labour. On the other side, it's all the other parties. So that way, it's the Conservatives, and then you've got the Liberal Democrats, and then you've got the SNP, and then you've got the Greens, and you've got Reform, and then you've got Northern Ireland parties and Plaid Cymru. It's all going off on this side with all the different parties. And you may have heard the term frontbencher, or more likely backbencher. That's literally because backbenchers are the people that sit on the back bench. Because on the front benches is the leaders of the party, the cabinet, the Prime Minister and the head of the police and the head of the NHS and the head, all that lot. They sit literally on the front bench where they can talk to everyone and kind of boss the place. And on the other side, the Conservative front bench, they're not in charge of these places. They're called shadow ministers, but that doesn't matter. They're also on that front bench. And then the Liberal Democrats have their front bench. And the SNP don't have a front bench because they don't have anything at the front, but they've got a fronter bench where their people sit. And then the second row of SNP are their spokespeople, and so on and so on and so on. It matters where they sit because it changes the dynamics. So when a Prime Minister or someone quits the government, they then become a backbencher and they merge into the background. I say like it's easy. Oh, well, Labour over there, Conservative over there. There aren't enough seats in the House of Commons for everyone to sit down. So if you ever see people in the House of Commons, you'll see people at the end all standing up because it doesn't fit 650 MPs in it. And that's kind of okay because everyone can squeeze in and do a bit of standing. But, and here's the thing, if you're standing, you can't contribute to the debate. You cannot speak while standing on the floor of the House. Although when you're speaking, you do have to stand up on the benches. But don't worry about that. But you have to be sat down to be called to speak, which means that the MPs that didn't get there on time, might be doing other business, don't get to speak in the debate. And that could be a little issue. The Speaker runs the joint, basically. He or his deputies, they decide who's going to speak at what point. And they call order, and they decide some of the business of the day, some of the things are going to be debated, and they are in charge, like, you know, a teacher in a school or whatever. And so I hear you ask, but Tatton, What's the point of all of this? What's the point? Well, let me tell you the point. The point of the House of Commons is to, basically, it's to pass new laws. At the election, the party with the most MPs forms the government, almost always. And the leader of that party becomes the Prime Minister. And it's the Prime Minister's job, off with all the government, the front benchers who were speaking about earlier, to go off and come up with the idea for laws, right? The government do that, not Parliament. Parliament do not come up with the idea for laws. But once the government have got their ideas, they then bring them into the House of Commons. And there in the House of Commons, everybody has a say. All the MPs get a chance to speak, or if they can't all speak, every MP has the chance to vote on those bills. So your person that you elected in your area, your MP gets to have a vote on every new piece of legislation, all the new laws that go through. I mean, that's kind of what democracy is, right? You vote for someone who then votes for stuff on your behalf. But it's not just about the laws. You've got scrutinising the ministers themselves. So once every other week or so, the Minister for Education might stand up and has to take an hour of questions on education, schools and what they're doing. We know that every week there's Prime Minister's questions where the Prime Minister has to be held to account. And they also have debates, general debates, where things are spoken about in the House of Commons that matter. And then there's select committees, which is groups of MPs under the banner of the House of Commons mostly. They meet, there are 15 of them, maybe, 10 of them, maybe, and they look at specific things. So each government department, so Department for Health will have Health and Social Care, will have a select committee who looks into them. And they're just have inquiries and they see what's going on. They call people in. People who use the NHS, people who run the NHS, people who work in the NHS, whatever it might be, and they have these conversations and then they write reports and then the Minister looks at them and they're debated in the House of Commons. The point of the House of Commons is to make sure the government's doing the best possible job. And I think it's quite good with that. I think the House of Commons is great. There's a lot of nonsense as well. That's life, really. You can watch the House of Commons every single minute that it's open. You can see it on the Parliament Live website, and the BBC has a BBC Parliament channel. Watch it. Give it a watch. See what happens. You will see that the chamber is sometimes pretty empty because MPs got loads of things to do. But you'll also see the beauty of it. When you're away from the big moments like PMQs, you just see MPs getting on with the job and talking about things that matter and talking about the country and talking about the world and talking about how we can make it a better place. And the government having to come and say why they're doing what they're doing. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Give it a watch.